Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Dolores Tarver, licensed psychologist here in Georgia, coming to you with another mental health moment. Today we're going to be talking about dealing with disappointments and delays. I recognize that this is a season where a lot is going on. And even outside of COVID-19, there would still be things happening in our lives. Anniversaries, birthdays, graduations, childbirths, conferences, reunions, vacations. And so now we're in a place where we're trying to figure out how are we going to manage these things during a time when we're supposed to socially isolate. There is also people that are still going through cancer treatments, getting infusions, dialysis. How are we to manage that? How are we to support people as they're going through things? Are we going to be able to support people? What are my options? Well, we're often disappointed when things don't happen in the way we planned. So some of the thoughts that contribute to us feeling disappointed can be actually self-destructive. Now, people may tell you, you don't need to be disappointed during this time. You don't need to be thinking about and focusing on what you couldn't have during this time. You're being selfish. There are people dying. There's other things going on. It's not about you. The reality is you're allowed to have emotions. You're allowed to experience some disappointment because the things that you wanted to happen did not happen. The issue is not you being disappointed. The issue is whether or not the thoughts and the behaviors are destructive around those emotions. And what are my thoughts doing that may contribute to what I'm feeling? And that's the area we can address. The reality is some things will be able to be rescheduled. I may still be able to celebrate my birthday. I may just be a half a year older by the time I celebrate it, as opposed to it being exactly a year. So I'll be celebrating that 13th and a half birthday by the time possibly this is all done. And that's okay. We can make that happen. But there are some things we can't change. We can't alter. We can't very well tell that cute little baby, hey, hang out for another 4 to 5 months until we can possibly see if this may be over. So how do we manage that? You may also be trying to get refunds and move things and not being able to get in contact with people because businesses are closed or they're so overwhelmed with the amount of requests that they're having to reschedule or refund that they haven't been able to get around to you, which could be contributing to your anxiety as well. So let's talk about how we constructively can manage that. First of all, let's talk about thoughts. We have 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day. I know it doesn't feel like we do, but a lot of things go through our mind all day. Imagine if those thoughts are negative. So let's talk about what we can do to maybe possibly have those thoughts be a little bit more realistic and as positive as they possibly can during this time of disappointment and delay. First, let me examine what I'm thinking. So possibly a common example of what some people may think is, I support them all the time, but when it comes to me, people don't support me. Okay, I can't tell you that may not be true sometimes for you, but what I can tell you is during COVID-19, people are not able to be as supportive as they would be otherwise because they simply can't be in contact with you during this time. Another common thing I hear is that, oh, if you get married now, your marriage is going to be doomed, right? So that's another fallacy. The reality is we get a chance to work through some things as partners, even going into our marriage. Conflict intimacy is one of the best types of intimacy because it means we get to problem solve and work through things together as a spouse. So a more constructive way to think about that is, how can we manage this situation in a way that works best for us and our family during this time? So those are some good examples of thought restructuring, right? And it is important for us to write things down. What am I actually thinking? Because like I said, those 50 to 60,000 thoughts we have a day, we don't know what may be running through our minds. But I will tell you that the negative things are the things that run through our mind most instantly, all the time. They wake up with us, they go to bed with us. When we go to the bathroom, those negative thoughts come too. They are there all the time. So we have to be very intentional about thinking positive things, which means let's write it down. What am I thinking that may be contributing to what I'm feeling right now? And may I be able to provide an alternative statement to that that's really more accurate? So let's talk about some of the things that we can do that are actually more helpful, right? So let's say this baby is coming. Because again, can't tell that baby to wait 4 or 5 months to come out. What are some things we can do? Well, I can ask family and friends to record themselves reading the baby a story, talking to the baby, sharing funny moments about pregnancy or the parents, and then the baby will be able to have these things when they get here. they'll be able to listen to them. And when they turn a year old, you'll be able to say, look at how much everybody loved you. They weren't able to be here when you were born, so they sent all these things to let you know how much you meant to them. What an honor for a baby to have that kind of legacy that they'll be able to go back and look at as they get older every year about how their family showed up for them. If you want to get married on a particular day, you chose that day for very significant reasons, get married on that day. You may have to video people in, you may have to call people, but you do that because that's something that you and your partner agreed to and decided. And what you can do possibly later is have something else where you can have family be physically present if they're only able to be with you via video conference, right? Those birthday celebrations, we can still have them. We can have them at home, and we can celebrate with people on the phone. We can celebrate with people again through videos. These artists have been doing such a great job of giving us free concerts. You can get a whole free concert for your birthday and not even have to worry about showing up and touching people, and if your seat is going to be there or somebody is sitting in your seat when you get there. Not to mention you get some nice clean restrooms. If you were going to take that vacation or have that date night or do something as a family, you still can. Pinterest has all these great ideas. You can create whatever environment at home you want to. You can be in Hawaii, you can be in London, you can be in Paris. We can create meals that would have been a part of that experience. As couples, we can have that be an intimate date. We can still do romantic things for each other. I saw a family skate through their house and create a skate party. And I thought, now those people are creative, right? So here's an opportunity for us to engage our wellness areas. I'm big on the areas of wellness, and one of them is intellectual wellness, that creativity. What am I doing to stimulate myself? You guys can dress up as characters from books or plays, act those things out. We can have a commencement ceremony. You can put on your cap and gown that you already paid for and already have at the house. Walk through here and we can hand you a diploma. We can have a cake. We can celebrate with you. We can record this. So you have all of these things that are available to you to do, even if it's just in your home. And you can invite in whoever you want to because of the wonders of technology. And in that way, we're very, very fortunate. So there are some other things that you can do too, right? With our people who are experiencing cancer treatments or dialysis. I know that you all haven't done this in a while, but you can actually write a letter. You can write a letter and mail it to them. They can read these things while they're receiving their treatment to know that you're there, encouraging them, supporting them, giving them words to help them through this difficult time. If they're unable to read it, someone may be able to read it to them. You also have an opportunity to put on those reunion shirts. You have an opportunity to do the things that you wanted to do at a later point. So if you can reschedule them, then of course, go ahead and reschedule them. And don't worry about it not being able to know exactly what date you're going to reschedule. That's okay. You can just make a list of places you want to go, of opportunities that you want to have. Things are really, really cheap right now. You can get a nice cheap flight for October, November, maybe sometime in 2021. But you can still do those things together. You create those things with your loved ones and not have to worry so much about it being perfect. During this time, challenge yourself about things needing to be perfect. This is an opportunity for us to practice self-compassion. Because if we practice compassion with ourselves, we'll be able to be more compassionate with other people. Because one of the reasons we get frustrated with people is because we're frustrated with ourselves. And I see in you some of the things that I don't like about me. So if I can come to peace within myself about what I'm doing, i.e. trying to have control over things I can't have control over right now, then I may be okay with the fact that things are not in order. They're a little bit more chaotic than they used to be. And that's okay. It's okay for things not to be perfect, for you not to have control over everything right now. Here's an opportunity for us to practice patience. Another thing that we can do during this time is be able to be grateful for what we do have. Sometimes we don't do what we can do because we can't do what we want to do. But take this time to think about the things that you are able to do. Every day, think about what you have, how you can nurture yourself, how you can use this time to reflect on areas that you might not otherwise be able to develop. The things you put off, you have the opportunity now to invest in. So take this time to be able to love on the people that sometimes you forget to call. They're on your mind, but you don't actually take that time to reach out to them. Take this time to be able to nurture them as you nurture you too. Okay? Be encouraged.